3 months ago, I propagated my Monstera Aurea, and today I'm going to show you the results. Kind of a fail, but there are a few gems. There are a few gems from this process. Welcome back to my channel, Hakuna La Planta. My name is Kevin, and I'm going to share the journey propagating my Monstera Aurea from a huge tall plant into single node cuttings. So I am going to include clips from the initial chop, a 2-week update, a 1-month update, a 2-month update, and today I'm going to show you the results after 3 months. The initial goal propagating this down was to bring back variegation with a lot of these cuttings. The specimen that I had wasn't exactly the most perfect specimen because she was slowly reverting. Like the yellow was starting to disappear. I mean, the big one I have, that one was a top cutting initially from that plant. And so you can see that the yellow was already disappearing at that point, and you can see that it's disappeared quite a bit. You'll see in the initial chop, I do talk about like the nodes and like thinking if I want to keep a lot of them because a lot of them had just green like axillary buds where you just know it's not going to push out any variegation. But I kept most of them even though I wasn't hopeful. And so here's the initial chop. This was 3 months ago, and roll the tape. Good morning, everyone. It is Sunday morning. Sunday morning, rain is falling. It's not. It's actually might rain today. So today I'm going to chop up my Monstera Aurea. And I know I took a top cutting, and that's the one I've been showing a lot on this channel, but the mama, who you cannot see, she's right here in the corner. Kind of part of what I was saying before, like me having the most joy when I propagate plants, seeing how they grow. And so kind of going back to that, because I know my channel started out as that, if there's any OGs here. Now the process, I gotta move so many things. Okay, I'm just kind of taking my foot and I'm just lifting the anthurium leaves. Oh! I don't know, what was that? These Thai leaves. I just broke this gigantic aerial root. Oh no! Oh. Do you see this chaos? Oh. I've never seen this leaf. Okay, the newest leaf looks hilarious. Wow. Seriously, future Kevin, zoom out. Look at this. I don't know if y'all can see. I think I gotta take this to the living room, y'all. I'm literally just dragging, guys. This is too much. This is too chaotic. Oh my god. Oh, the new leaf. Oh my gosh. I don't know what y'all can see, but here, whew, here's this. Okay, top looks decent. The rest look hilarious. How am I gonna chop? Okay, can we not fall? Can you like hold on 1 second, please? I just like need to prepare things. Hold on. Can we? It's falling, I can see it. Oh, I keep stepping on these aerial roots, man. I'm just tying it to this bamboo stake here. Okay, I just like really need to pee. Okay, I'm gonna pee, hold on. Ooh, girl, I'm just putting some cream. I got really itchy. Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's because I'm stressed. Okay, I'm gonna put some gloves on. I'm gonna say this now. A lot of the older, like adventitious roots, I'm probably going to just cut off completely. In my experience, like propagating my elbow and then my thigh, a lot of them don't survive. Like I might just like, I don't know, they're just too long. I don't have the space for it. And if they don't survive, they don't survive. We'll see. Can we stay, please? Okay. And actually, I'm going to look, oh my God, this is too much. I'm gonna look at where the node is and where the new growth point's gonna come out. Ooh, do you know what? I think the top cutting is gonna have only these 2 leaves because I'll show you after. There's like a streak of variegation just going through that node. So let's bring y'all closer. Do you see that? Like, it's more on this edge, but there's a chance there might be variegation in that new leaf. Oh, actually it is 3 leaves. Okay, wait, I gotta look here. Okay, I want y'all to have a better view. This is the back of it in the nodes. Like, you can see some yellow. It's really hard to see. I'll make a chop right over here, leaving the top cutting with 2 leaves. And the same thing with the next one down. Like, do you see this streak of yellow? I feel like it'll push out variegation anyhow. So I'm gonna make a chop here, preserving that node, and then also preserving the main aerial root here for each node. And I'm gonna try, hopefully all goes well. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna be so sad if this leaf doesn't survive. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So, this leaf, are you kidding? I can't believe I'd even notice. But do you see the new leaf? I don't know if it was crunched up against the Veitchii and it was fighting. I think this might have happened when I was trying to pull her away from the Veitchii. A fair amount of variegation, as far as I can see, just on this side. Top cuttings are iffy if you cut too close to, you know, like newer growth. So I have no idea. That is the main aerial root there. But I always like to submerge water, whatever substrate. Usually water at this point to about here, because if the plant continues to grow, there might be a new aerial root that comes out of there. This leaf is so stunning. Okay, anywhere in between. I don't think there's any variegation. Oh, there's a little bit, just a little bit. But like I said, potentially, I don't know, we'll see, y'all. It's more on this side, actually. Oh, so beautiful. Yeah, this leaf. It actually looks like there's more stripes of variegation going through the node. Again, this doesn't necessarily mean, like, trust and believe. I've had so many props not push out variegated leaves, even though you could actually see the stripes going through that node there. And specifically with my philodendron strawberry shakes. What a nightmare. Wow, okay. Oh, hello. I'm so excited. I don't know, it's just hitting me now. I'm excited to see them grow. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, and then just cutting right over here. Man, so beautiful. Okay, the next one is just a node. Do you see the stripe of variegation? It's literally in the path of the node. So we're gonna try it. I'm not like, usually don't waste my time sometimes, but I mean, it's an Aurea, so I think I might. Where do I cut you though? Just trying to see if there's another node. Oh, do you know what? I should keep this entire part because I forgot to mention too. Remember, this is where I cut for the top cutting that I have against my window. So actually, this is a spent node. So I should keep this leaf with this node. I don't know if that made sense. So moving down, just making a cut right over here. God, this is such a mess. Can we let go? I don't know. Okay, this is what I was talking about. So this leaf is where, like, it's the last leaf of the main plant before I made that top cutting. So obviously the node over here was already used. So because going up, there's a node here and no leaf, it just makes sense to keep this leaf as like the solar panel, just so it can take in light. I think I might at this point speed this through potentially. Okay, I had to clean up a little bit because there was moss everywhere. I'm gonna start with the easy stuff first. So the top cutting. Why is this leaf like this? But wow, should I just, no. I'll keep it the way it is until something bad happens. Look at this. Okay, I'm gonna put this one in LECA. I know I said water before, but you know, just putting it in like a deli container full of LECA, just like this. And I mean, putting the water level pretty high and then putting it under grow light. I think I like that plan. And I'm just gonna add water. You know, y'all, I'm so conflicted. I think I might just put the top cuttings that aren't like rooted enough in a bucket of water. So that just means, I think these three. I just want this main root to grow a little more. Plus, now I'm like, I thought I had enough room because I moved things around my plant room, but this kind of looks overwhelming. Okay, this one over here with this root system, this one with this root system. We're just gonna put them in a bucket of water. I might add more to this bucket, but currently there's these 3 in here. Look at this mess. Look. And the aerial roots, you see this? I'm gonna have to cut all of them. I don't have room. Okay, I'm just gonna drop them. Look at this. Yeah, no. But also, is there even... Okay, I'm just like picking them randomly. Independent. Do you remember? Ah, there's potential. There's like stripes, kind of. I just need to cut all these off. I know this might essentially kill it, but I actually like can't keep this much root. Like, I'm not even joking. It's probably taller than me. It is. Okay, goodbye. Sorry. Oh my. I don't know if y'all can see this, but it's like the toilet paper gets stuck on your foot. Okay, is that a thing? I see that in movies and cartoons. That has never once happened to me. Is that a thing that actually happens? Okay, this is that top one. Big root system. Moss maybe? Because there's already balls of moss. What on earth? Yeah. It's actually broken over here, so might as well just cut it here. Bye. Yeah, see, this one, it is a green leaf. On the side where the leaf is, there's like fantastic variegation, but when you flip it, there's like nothing. So I'm gonna say bye to this. Goodbye. I know people are probably yelling at me right now, but honestly, when you propagate plants, like the biggest issue is finding a place for them. These two are kind of tangled with each other in the moss. So maybe I'll put this in one container like that, or plastic bag or something of moss. I kind of have an idea, but let me just grab something first. I'm not sure. Okay, this was the plan. Take a bin, fill it with moss at the bottom. Just because these were already rooted in moss, I want to see new root growth. I know the root systems are big, but it doesn't mean that these are going to be the roots that actually root. Like in my experience, when you have this many aerial roots that are this long, they don't survive. And so I just need to see new white root growth. And yeah, I'm just going to stick these under a grow light. Obviously, I need to hydrate all of this. So I'm going to slowly just put water, and then I'm going to add more moss on top. So I just put like a layer of wet new moss at the bottom, and then I'm just hydrating the moss that was already there. Oh yeah, and also I cut the leaves in half. A lot of people tell me that this actually helps when it comes to the rooting process, like speed it up, just because when you have a leaf, the plant needs to channel energy to that direction. So by cutting part of the leaf, and I tried to cut like the variegated parts, obviously like there are still parts where there is variegation. I tried to cut the variegated parts just because that's gonna suck energy. So I'm gonna try it. I normally don't do this, but people say that it's a thing that you should do. So we're gonna see if it works. I'm just kind of pushing everyone down. Like that. Yeah. Just to keep the humidity in, and again, I'm gonna put this under grow light. I know I didn't really go through all of them, but honestly, they all look the same. Okay, and I actually didn't look yet. I don't know, I'm kind of excited even though, you know, there might not be anything. But I have 2 more cuttings in here. So these, the bottom cutting, which is rooted in the LECA, and then this one that has an aerial root going into the LECA. So I do want to separate this one. There's a chance I might just put it in the pot as well. I'm going to remove this moss pole. I don't know how I secured it. I think I might have zip tied it to the net pot. I haven't, it's probably been I don't know when the last time I showed this, but I haven't looked at the roots. So we're going to look together. It might all be gone, but I want to share this moment, I guess. It's all rotten, guys. How is this plant alive? Oh my, it's black. Oh my God, guys. It's black, but like it's not completely gone. Oh my God, the leaf is in the way. Like there's some healthy roots, but like when you turn it, it's all rotten. Okay, we gotta work on this. We gotta work on this. We gotta work on this. Man, I hate doing this. I hate doing this part. This one feels like it's one of the main roots. Oh, I don't think I can remove it. Oh my God, I can't believe everything is black. It's just funny because there's so many healthy roots. I'm just kind of putting my fingers through it. Whew, okay, y'all, that was a lot. That was a lot. Okay, I'm not gonna use the same bucket. I'm gonna wash it and disinfect it more thoroughly. This one's the clean one. So I can't remove the what I was talking about before. It's insane that there's still like healthy roots, and obviously the plant, like that tall plant, was still alive, just kind of relying on like these roots. I took as much off that was dead, but yeah, I'm gonna keep it. It's interesting because there's so many branches that are healthy, and I know people are often scared about like root rot, and my laundry's done. I'm just gonna put a little bit more LECA. I'm just running water because I don't have nutrient solution, but I would just do my regular nutrient solution. Okay, oh my God. I was also debating if I want to get rid of this leaf. This is like the old mama leaf along with this one. You can see the yellow parts were dried up, and then the second plant in here is over there. So we'll just see what happens with this one. I'll keep you updated. And yeah, y'all, this took 2 hours. I'm never confident when my monsteras are in this state where they have those long brown roots. Again, in my experience, a lot of them do die off, and then you're kind of just left with a stem, and then the plant or the cutting requires more energy to push out a new set of root. And a lot of the time, like the cutting can't sustain itself long enough before that happens. Sometimes we push out new growth first, and then from that new growth in that node, it pushes out a new root. We'll see what happens. I want to see more variegation, and yeah, I don't know. I know I didn't really show them all. I'm just like so obsessed with this leaf. I cut the newest leaf in half because I'm like, oh, that's gonna be an energy sucker. 2 in LECA, 3 in water, and like, I don't know, like 5 or 6 in moss. I'm gonna put these all under grow light for 14 hours because they need it. That is the main reason why cuttings or propagations fail. They don't get enough light. Monstera Aureas. I think today it's been a couple weeks. I'll start off with the one that was with the Burley Marks flames on that shelf. I finally see rootage, and I just filled the reservoir right over there. I know y'all might think that's pretty high. I'm really trying to keep the LECA wet. Also Monsteras, even if you find that they don't necessarily like the roots sitting in the reservoir, they can actually tolerate it for a few days, weeks. So yay, so this is the top cutting. So you could see right over there, that's where she lives. Let's look at light and foot candles. 600 to 1500 depending on, you know, just because it's a large leaf. So that much for 14 hours a day. Okay, the update on the plants that were already in the LECA. So I snuck her back where she was living before. So we're in the corner here. This is a south facing window. One plant has this green leaf, and do you see that, everyone? Look at that growth. I am so excited to see what irrigation is gonna look like. But wow, wow, wow. And then second one had these 2 leaves. You can see that they're pushed up against the window. There's actually 2 growth points. So one over there. When I sneak down, you can see another one. So that's very exciting. And against the window, 400. Ooh, I almost fell. I, most of the time, do not. I know I have all these plants pushed up against my south-facing window, but I do not trust the amount of light that comes through the south-facing window. I think I learned the hard way when it was January and we literally had no sun for like a month and a half. And also the buildings, depending on the season, the sun is lower, the buildings are blocking it. So I was actually scared for those ones and the propagations in the water, which I'll get to. I just thought I'd talk about this first because I think it's really important. Like, people think it's just a straightforward answer of like, where are your windows? Would like the lighting to be brighter than what it is now, specifically for propagations. Now, I know those ones were rooted already in the LECA, so they already had roots present, but I have seen this as well where you take a lot of the foliage out and you see a lot of root death if you don't give it a lot of light. So I'm not gonna check now because it looks like she's doing okay, but maybe in another 2 weeks I'll check the root system. Had it a few sunny days in the past couple weeks, so I think that's why that's doing a thing. But like, if y'all are gonna propagate any sort of plant, I would suggest a lot more light. Also, the days are getting shorter, a lot more hours of light. But yeah, I'm only saying this because a year ago when I was propagating my Monstera Albo, I had that issue. The majority of the cuttings rotted just because I thought the south-facing window was enough, but it wasn't. Whew, y'all, I'm tired, I'm tired. I'm just gonna move all these things to get the bucket. Pleasantly surprised with the Aureas that I'm propagating in water. Oh, Mohenena, how are you? You're still red. That's nice. Look at this, she's still red. Sorry, I'm just being very tired and lazy and I'm just moving things slowly. Look at the Mohenena, she looks so good. Okay, next. Are y'all ready to be amazed? I am actually shook. So, this leaf over here, again, this is a 2-week update since I chopped up the Aurea. Look. Now, I know she had a lot of these roots before, but the key is looking at new root growth. Every single one of these branches pushed out an extension of what they already were, or branching. Are you kidding? The node, look at the node, she's waking up. She is waking up. And again, doing your assessment, feeling the ends, not squishy, totally fine. Obviously feeling the petiole, feels good. Feeling the leaf, feels good. She's just fine, she's taking up water fine. I was so excited. I think it is because we had a bunch of sunny days. Why? It's rooted so fast. I expected much less. So I think that one's the best one. Okay, look at this one. Okay, this one, oh, this is probably the second most beautiful. I know that's mean. Oops. Variegation wise, I'm being so mean. Okay, look, so the brown roots were there before, and you can see all the branching. Insane. Yeah, okay, that's actually okay. I'm just feeling the roots, guys. Sometimes when I see branching like this, I like to feel the ends of the roots to see if they're squishy, because the plant will find a way to push out a root. If it can't from the tip of the already existing root, then it'll branch, but everything feels good. This is actually amazing. I'm so happy with that one. Oh, and the growth point. I'm doing such a bad job. Ooh, look at that, waking up. Okay, number 3 is also fantastic. So this one over here, look at her. They're all doing their thing. Now I want to say this again, I'm just doing water. I haven't done nutrient solution, so I only changed the water once and it was a week ago. And yeah, look at that. So look at the bud there. She's doing her thing, waking up. I guess it's time to change the water. Okay, technically I could put in a substrate now. Do you want to do that to myself right now? I'm gonna try. I know I can do one in a deli container. I'll see if the roots for the other ones fit. If not, I might have to grab a bigger planter. Okay, so I'm putting this green one with a little bit of irrigation with these roots over here. Oh my god, please fit. Oh my god. Don't break, please. I think that's actually okay. So I just kind of slowly, y'all can see that they fit. Oh my gosh. Okay, Kevin, concentrate. I think I like it. You can kind of see roots peeking right over there. Some peeking right over there. I'll fill this up with water when I get the chance, but I'll just put you off to the side. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fill the other ones. What am I saying? I don't know if I'm going to fit, that's the word. Because the roots are so long. Can I like bend? Oh, these are, Okay, this one might be easier. Let's see. Let's see. Didn't realize y'all couldn't see what I was doing, so here it is. Okay, I don't think you can see any. Oh, you can actually on the side. So we'll see. Okay, the sun wants to attack me. I'm just putting pon in this big planter. I'm not gonna fill it to the top because I need to save my pond for other things, but... Oh, it already... Okay, whatever. Okay, I hope that's okay. As you can see, I didn't go to the top, but that's okay, just as long as the roots are covered. This leaf is gorgeous. Okay, y'all, and then the moss ones, I'm not gonna repot them just because I don't have room. But I can see some roots, at least from one part over there, so I'm just gonna grab her. I just broke one. Oh my god. I just broke one. Okay, so how many were in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, there are 6. So I'll show you first what I was seeing. If you look, you see that new root growth right over there? I think there's some of this, I don't know what y'all can see. Mainly here, and then over here. That is new root growth. Rotating it, you can see that. You could also see over here. How exciting. That is really exciting. On the surface here, you can see a root there. I mean, I could repot it now. I really could. Just seeing the amount of roots. I need more room though. I don't have a place for these, unfortunately. So, ooh, that node is waking up. Do you see that? Future Kevin, zoom in. Look at that node. Okay, everything's going so well with these. So again, she's probably getting like 1,000 to 3,000 foot candles for 14 hours under grow light. I haven't wet this again since I wet it initially. By keeping the lid, you ensure that it stays moist. Oh my god, the sun. Okay. Ooh. So that is super, super, super exciting. Show you the Monstera Aureas. It's been 1 month since I chopped up the plant. There's one in LECA. She's now up there, and I'm not gonna move all these plants just to show you because I'm just gonna sneak up here. This is the closest I could get for future Kevin zoom in. So one has 2 growth points. I can't see if the other one has 2 also. But I'm not necessarily doing anything with those ones just because, like, for all we know, they could push out green leaves. In the event that they push out green leaves, I'm just gonna get rid of it. And like, that's why, that is why the sun is coming through the windows. That is why with variegated plants, like I'm not necessarily putting them in their permanent home. Like I'm not putting them in any planters except there's only one. Just because I don't know if they're actually gonna push out more variegated leaves, if it's just gonna be all green. But yeah, so that's that one. Let's move on to this one. So I had to move her. She's, oh my god, y'all can't even see because the sun. Okay, I'll stand back here. So this is the leaf. Look at these roots. All this branching here. Wonderful. The growth point, oh gosh, over there. It is so cute. The next 3 in pawn, they were up against the window before the move, and so I had to move them just because there wasn't room. I had to push things together. So she's now on this shelf right under the grow light. So I want to say that's still about 1,000-ish foot candles right here. The next one that lives there as well is this one. So if y'all remember, I cut the leaves in half just so obviously to make room. We have plants all together and you have big leaves, they're all kind of competing for like light. So now that it's smaller, I can just kind of put plants beside it without them competing anyhow. So roots, look at this, look at this. Ooh, ooh. And this one looking so cute. The node is, I think she was waking up before, but she's definitely waking up there. Kind of looks like it's kind of variegated, but you never know. And these roots. Okay, I guess it's only on that. Yeah, it's only on this side. So beautiful. Top cutting. Sorry, the top cutting. So this one was in LECA. She lives actually in that corner still under a grow light, and you can see this beautiful fruit. I think that's the only one you can see. So I knew when I chopped this, there was a little bit of a leaf like developing under here. I did see this brown situation. And normally when you cut the plant, they kind of kill off the leaf that was growing. And that's what's kind of happening here. So that's okay. I'm gonna remove it. When it grows a little more, I'll just remove that rotted leaf. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I found that like every other leaf was variegated. So if that leaf rotted, then the next leaf should be on the variegated side. We'll see. I think I could put it here actually now. Okay, I'm on the floor. This is like artsy. Oh my God, this sun. Oh, what time is it? It's 11. So I guess around 11, the sun peeks through the buildings. I'm a little mad because there's fungus gnats everywhere. And I was wondering, because usually for me, during the fall, the fungus gnats are so wild. They are so wild. Anyhow, I was wondering where they were coming from. It's from this bin of moss. This bin of moss. Okay, hold on. Okay, this is gonna be, I feel like I'm gonna be so stressed separating. I guess, let me show you a closer view because the lighting's better. The roots look great. Do you see? And then the bottom. Look at that. There's so many branches. So, because I don't want them to get super tangled, again, I don't know how many are in here. 5? Are we gonna end up doing them all in pond? Moss is so annoying. I'm probably gonna fast forward this because I'm gonna stress out while I'm doing it. Okay, I went back and forth like what I was gonna do. So also that almost took an hour of separating. Obviously I don't know yet, and you'll never know if you're not really seeing what's in the bud where the new growth is gonna come out. But if I'm seeing a cutting that doesn't have a lot of yellow going through the bud, I'm keeping it in moss because there's no point in like putting it in a bigger pot, wasting pond, for example. So I'm just like putting the same moss. I'm introducing beneficial nematodes. Hopefully that helps with the fungus gnats. And I'm just gonna add water. Let's add nutrient solution now that they have roots actually. I was so focused, I almost didn't show any of these. I don't know, man. This one is like, so I think this one's just gonna be green. So this leaf here, and then you can see this growth point. I bruised the majority of the new growth points while I was taking the moss out. That's just discoloration, that's not yellow. I guess you can see it better down here, but it's green as opposed to, and you can really see the difference in the yellow right there. So it's green on this side, the same side where the node's coming out. So I suspect it's just gonna give me green leaves, so I'm gonna keep that one in moss. Putting it in like this. Okay. So here's that one. This one is gonna be a mystery for us all. So you can't see like this yellow stripe here kind of going in, but then after it like disappears. So maybe I'll put this one in pond. Roots? I'm forgetting to show the roots, but some of these grew into the moss when I was doing the Ziploc method like more than over a year ago. That's what these brown ones are, and then the white tips here, that's new growth from when I put it into this bin. Okay, I'm putting this one in pond. I don't know. I know there's moss, but I'm just like, I can't remove a lot of it. They're like really stuck on the roots. So we're just gonna YOLO it. I think this one might have irrigation, this leaf here, because, so there's a growth point. You can see a bunch of stripes. I don't know. It's tough because the flip side, like the other side over here, is like really green, but it's kind of like on the edge. So we're still gonna do pond with this one. Okay, so I just removed more moss. It seems like these ones are old roots. These tips down here, that's definitely newer root growth. So yeah. In here, I'm a little worried about this one just because there wasn't that much root growth compared to the other ones. We're just gonna see. There's two more. Okay, so I took off a lot of the moss, and then I'm just gonna put it into pond. Hopefully these roots all fit. So just in this jelly container, growth point right there. There's one more and it's huge. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. So it's the top one. Do you see this? I don't even know. I'm gonna have to cut this big one because it didn't push out. Actually, it didn't even, okay, well I'm gonna cut it if it didn't push out anything anywhere. Okay, I trimmed it a lot. I cut those roots up here. They weren't rooted that much, plus like there's a big enough root system down here. So let's do pond again. This one looks funny. So over here is this leaf. Okay, 4 in pond and then 2 in moss. Those 2 are the ones that I don't think are gonna like do anything. Okay, I'm just putting nutrient solution in all of them. I actually had a lot of leftover nutrient solution, so I might as well use it. It's been sitting there for like 4 days now. So just kind of putting a little bit of water. Again, the pond and the roots will suck up all of that. And then just stick them under grow light. I'm probably gonna cluster these all together. So with the other ones, the sun right now, it's the morning. I think it's like 9:30ish. And it's funny, so this light, it's not the sun. It's like a reflection off one of these condos. Like the sun is on that side because that's east. And so I'm pretty sure it's bouncing off one of those new buildings over there. Yeah, it totally is. It's like in my eyes. And that's a brand new building. So I've never had that kind of light in that room. Oh, it's coming through here. I'll show you. Hold on. Right there. So it's bouncing off that building. So that's why the room looks pretty bright. That building wasn't there a year ago. So everything's kind of making sense now. September to October, there is a transition where there's like far less light, specifically in the mornings and like late afternoon. But I noticed that there was a lot of light, and it's because of that building in the mornings. Oh my gosh, wow, okay. The mama, there's 3 new leaves. There's only 2 plants in here. I'm really excited to show you the leaf that has opened. I haven't even looked at it like straight on. Oh my god, the plant's falling. Do you see this? The plant just fell out of the planter. Hold on. Whew, okay. Oh, it's so weird. Look at this leaf. Now, she's not really close to hardening off, but oh my god, see that light's coming in. You can see that this is even marbled variegation on both sides of the leaves. Okay, let me look at it because I haven't really. Oh my god, this. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. This is. Guys, I don't think, even when this plant got big, I don't think I've ever had. I'm so glad I could share this reaction with y'all. Oh my god, this is just stunning. I don't know what y'all will be able to see. Let me just look how balanced And see, this is the variegation that I'm looking for, because I find that when leaves are more marbled, they don't crisp up as fast. And I know I don't really have that much experience with that. I'm just kind of pulling from my knowledge of my elbow when I had her. Look at, oh my God, I didn't even realize. Sheesh, okay. So that's one. That is one of the nodes that got activated. The second one is here. I haven't looked at it either. Let me see. See, this one looks like, and I think I'm gonna have to wait. This one looks like it's fully green. So this one's the same plant. It's just a node that's lower than the other one. Do you see that? So I don't see any variegation. She is a bit newer than the one I just showed you, which is so beautiful. Do you know what? It makes sense, because when I first got this plant, the beginning leaves on it were marbled balance, and because I cut it all the way down to those, and I'll show you the mother leaves, it's gonna be so hard to, like, this one has so much damage because she's so old, but this one was marbled, leaning more on the green side, but then the one up here was kind of the same. These were like the most balanced leaves, and then it was just kind of like a half and half situation. This is gonna be so incredible. It's gonna be so incredible. So I'm gonna wait to see what happens with this one. I'm gonna have to cut it because, like, I need to preserve this beautiful leaf. I am so happy. Oh, this is great to start out the morning. I'm so happy that there's fenestrations already, even though it's like in the form of 3 holes. Okay, and then the second one in there. This is the one that I'm probably gonna cut. I want to cut it now, but I feel like I have to be patient and wait. The second one, remember, I can just lift it up. This is so funny. Was attached to the mother. So this is the mother. Then I chopped her, and she was already rooted in the LECA, so I was like, okay, let's keep you in here. She was like, this was her. So chop, and then I separated it. And yeah, we don't know yet. So this is the leaf. It looks like it's gonna be fully green, so I might just get rid of it. I think I might just wait for it to harden off and then get rid of it. When you look, mother leaf here, she's predominantly green. There's some variation over here, but not that much. But I think I kept it because I looked at the node and I'm like, this, oh my God, I'm gonna change the angle again because I can't like pull it that far. There was so much variegation here on the stem, and then the node was on that side. But I think I said the node was on the edge of this fantastic, like, variegated part. So I think I wanted to keep it to like see if I was gonna do it. And it looks like she's gonna be fully green. It's hard because sometimes the leaf is just fully variegated. It might look like this before it hardens off. I haven't experienced that though. I've just experienced like half moons, if anything. But I think this one's just green. I'm gonna have to wait and see. And okay, I'll show you where the Aureas are. I don't even know if I showed you all where they were, but walking into this kind of section, they're over here. So grow light up there. I feel like, you know, I kind of wanted them to be closer, but I think they're still getting like 500 to 1,000, which is like okay for Monsteras. You know, as I gather a lot of these, I'm actually shocked at how many I kept. This is Dryonia, oh my gosh. So let's start out with the ones in moss since I'm talking about them. So the first one here in moss, we have this leaf, and there is a new leaf, look at that. Can't really tell. I think I kept the ones in moss that I felt like wouldn't push out variegation because the stripes on the stem here, they're only on this side. The other side over here is fully green, and that's where the node is coming out. But I wanted to see maybe a couple leaves first before I chucked them. So yeah, that is wonderful for this one. Second one here, it was a fully green leaf. I just cut in half. Super dry. You can't see roots though, right there. And there's like slight condensation, so it's not bone dry, like the condensation's over here. So that's a good sign. She's very light though. Oh my gosh, she's so light. Nothing much with this one. I see faint stripes kind of going through the node. Maybe this one was focusing on roots because the root system I'm looking is so big and robust, like more than the other ones. These ones, unlike the Burling Marks Flame, I'm still just using plain water. Not feeding it yet, just because I don't see any new leaves. There is one with a new leaf. She's in pawn. And why don't we show it? So the leaf is pretty much gone. I think this was one of the more variegated leaves. However, another situation where you have a ton of variegation on one side of the stem, but the node is like on the edge. So I think because it wasn't going through it, the variegation in the node, we have just a solid green leaf. At least I think it is. I said this before, I don't know. Only time will tell. I'm still gonna keep this, and then again, just watering. So this is the only propagation that has had a leaf unfurl, so that is wonderful. Okay, next one. I'm really just so curious about this one because this was one of the top parts of the plant, and I only kept her because there's like a single stripe going up, and then the node is here. So I'm like, is the node gonna have some variegation? Anyhow, there is the beginnings of a new leaf. It's gonna look weird. I know already, it looks so tiny. But yeah, I mean, rootage, there's some over there. You could tell which way this is facing because there's just all that algae on this side, and on the other side, it's like this one over here that had a little bit of variegation there. It is happening. Look at the beginnings of a new leaf. How cute. And I'm looking at the stem. It's kind of 50-50. I think it's going to be variegated. I'm trying not to touch it. But the variegation here, do you see the stripes? It is continuing a little bit on the other side where the node is, so I'm really hopeful that this one is doing okay, that this one will push out variegated leaves. Roots, you can't really see that much, but they're definitely there. Maybe I just can't see it. And there is a new aerial root right there. Do you see it? The aerial root? Yay! Okay, next one's rooted so much on one side, but then the node, I always see this, like cuttings that have more roots, they don't have a lot of growth. Like that is all the growth here. And the leaf, I think this is one of the top ones because you can see the middle or secondary fenestrations there. I think she just didn't want to focus on two things at once, which is normal. I'm just watering. Okay, we got 4 more. 3 in pawn, 1 in LECA. This one still looks cute. I'm like actually shocked that she's maintaining the beauty. She is still so pretty. Another cutting, I'm not really hopeful for this one because I don't see any variation on the other side of the node. That growth point over there is doing a thing, so that's wonderful. Just rotating. There we go. I was like, there's a root system. It's over there. Because this is in a regular like nursery pot, I just have this saucer and I'm trying to make sure I have enough nutrients, but you can see that she's like dust. I don't know if y'all can see dust. And see, this is another example. Wow. This one over here, this one was pretty, remember her? But growth point from that node looks cute. And I mean, what I was saying before, the ones with large, robust root systems, like look at that. They have the least growth. Last one in pawn. Over here. I might have to repot this one. But 2/3 of these cuttings, like I'm not hopeful. And I'm actually like, I kind of don't want a lot of these to have variegation just because I need more room. And so, but that's a new growth point. The roots are here. And then there's a new aerial root. So I might have to repot this one. And then the last one, which looks horrendous. The one in LECA. There is a lot of yellowing. Roots are fine though. And with this one, I'm probably going to give it nutrient solution just because she's in LECA. I'm doing a 3rd diluted though. No movement. This one is the one that had the new leaf coming. I think she rotted because obviously I cut her and there's nothing so far. So we're just going to have to wait for a new growth from this one. But yeah, that is the 2-month update. Looking at the condition, so I think the biggest thing I mentioned before, the mother has stayed the same. Not under grow light, but relying on the south-facing window. The other ones though, 500 to 1,000 foot candles. Before, most of them were getting 1,000 to 2,000 foot candles. And I don't know if that's like factoring into why like more of them haven't pushed out more growth. Been a little cooler. We're dipping closer to 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit for half of the day. It's really cold at night, but it is still really warm during the day. So it's the temperature fluctuates so much. So as far as I can tell, the lowest it's been is 62 degrees Fahrenheit in the room, but the highest has gone up to like 80. Which, I mean, it's a huge range. Obviously, those extremes, they don't last that long. Like, I would just bring it in a little bit. So I would say the range is probably like 65 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. And like I said, there has been a little bit of neglect when it comes to filling the reservoirs of these cuttings. So maybe that's another reason why there isn't that much growth. I've been behind, and really, I feel like it's been stressing me out a lot. And like, I think yesterday I got kind of like the wake-up call because my Monstera Aurea, like the mother, I changed the nutrient solution and the roots are gone. And I didn't notice before. I don't know. I don't even know the last time. I might look at it today. I'm hoping it's okay. Oh my God, it looks so bad. Okay, maybe I'll show you. Let's just take a good look at this leaf. Remember, I was so in awe, I was so excited for it. And like, it feels good. Like this plant, since there's two plants in here, this one feels okay. However, look at this new leaf. What is happening with this? Now, I usually see this kind of situation when like there might be something pest related. I've done so many checks. I think it's the root system because obviously I've looked at it before. It's obviously like rotted away. And I think because it didn't have a good root system, it couldn't like build enough leaf or like have a strong leaf. I'm gonna keep my hopes up. The good thing is with this one specific, this is so pretty. This one specifically is that there are two aerial roots coming off of it. Look at that. That is amazing. I forgot the second one that's attached to it is this green leaf. So we can see now that she's fully hardened off. You can see that there's no yellow at all. At the back of this leaf, you could see some speckling, but nothing. This, oh, look at this. Okay, and then you can see that she's fully green. Let me look. Yeah, she's fully... I'm gonna have to repot this whole thing. And let me just grab supplies. Okay, what we're gonna do, I think we have to go the clear route. Let's put that off to the side. Because I don't want to make a mess, I hope y'all can see. Okay. Oh! No! Did you hear it? Okay, it was an ugly leaf anyways, but literally this leaf. Okay, this is what happened. I went to lift it to show you the roots, and look. So I lifted it, and it smacked it, and it broke off. Oh my gosh. Okay. Kevin, you're fine. But you're fine. Okay, let's move away from that. Yeah, look. Okay, there is some good roots, but like a lot of it is dead. So I want to pull all of it out. All of it. There is a smell too. A little bit. I'm just gonna use my sink. Kind of want to just get rid of this one first. Whoa. Weird. See, this part's like, oh gosh, y'all can't even see. This part leading to where this cutting is like, it's like a dry squish, but like it's also hard to remove it from the substrate. And I'm like, what is happening? I'm actually surprised that it's not coming out. I'm just removing all this deadness. I'm just gonna try to pull it all because it's not... I don't even care. Yeah, guys, I'm not gonna keep this one. Just say goodbye because, girl. Oh my God. Do you see this? Oh, okay. I actually feel like I didn't Like, this is bad, but it's not terrible. Now I'm gonna just take away a lot of the dried up situations. Okay, so while I, take off all these dead roots, I want to talk about what happened. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't understand, and I've been more vocal about this on my channel, my south-facing window, it's great, but when the fall, winter, spring hits, it's not enough light for a lot of plants. And, I kind of wanted to wait for a second year before I actually, said this with confidence. But last year, when there were less hours of light from my south-facing window, that's when my Ploumanii, that's when my Gloriosum, that's when a lot of the plants that relied only on the south-facing window suffered. And this is the second year where it's happening. This was only facing the south-facing window. And yeah, she did push out leaves, but the amount of light is less. And I feel like when the roots are sitting in the reservoir, you do need to give it more light. And so I think that's basically what happened. That, and also I cut down the plant. She already had a big root system. I've seen this and I saw this with my elbow when I had it, but like when you cut down a mature plant all the way down and it has a big root system, a lot of time that root system doesn't, like some of it survives, but a lot of it just rots. And so I think that's what happened with this. So not terrible. I mean, I'm gonna wash it down, but just pulling and feeling, again, I'm doing like my gentle like pull. Obviously there's still some dead roots, so I'm still continuing to pull. Honestly, I'm not gonna reuse this LECA. I know I could like potentially clean it. I just don't have the patience to like sift through all of these roots in the LECA. No ma'am. I tried to wash all the other dead and broken roots, and we are left with this. So I'm very happy with this because it is actually a pretty large root system. Also, multiple places where there's roots. And then to top it off, you have those two fresh aerial roots. And so my plan is to put all of this into one pot, submerge these two roots, and then hopefully we have the same success as my Thai Constellation. I think it's gonna be fine just because it's from LECA to LECA. I don't know if the majority of the rot was from the other plant because there was two in there, but I mean, this is a big root system. Like, I'm actually shocked. Like, when I changed the nutrients, I was like, oh, everything is dark and everything smells a little funky. And I need to remember, potentially a lot of these might die and that I just have to rely on this. So like, it's okay that they're all squished together. So I did push them all the way down. And even then, these roots are still up here. So I think I might have to put a collar just for now. Okay, everyone. I don't know what y'all saw, but I have her here. So I guess this will serve as the before. I'm hoping that the roots really take off, like new root growth. And at this point, I'm gonna have to put it under a grow light. And I think that's the biggest thing I regret doing. Like, I really should have, after I chopped it, put it under grow light. And I know it was still successful. Like, she pushed out 2 growth points from this one plant, 1 and 2. But when it comes to sustaining that root system, obviously you need much more light. Again, it was only relying on my south-facing window. Y'all can see that I added a deli container just to cover the rest of the aerial roots. So I'm really hoping she does okay. So I have my nutrient solution here. I'm doing full strength. I'm doing full strength just because she's been growing that way. I'm just watering through the LECA and just keeping a little bit of a reservoir in the saucer. So yeah, I'm really hoping. What a chaotic video. Like, I broke the new leaf even though she was like really ugly. Okay, we are back. That last clip, oh my gosh. I was so angry. Look at this. Wow. I'm spilling so much water, oh my god. So I did keep both the first leaf, and one of them is this one. So you can only see like a little tiny bit of like yellow at the bottom of the leaf, and then she pushed out this one. I think this one's gonna be fully green. And so because of that, not now, but maybe in the future, I'm just gonna cut it completely off. This one was the first one, and I like, this is the variegation I wanted. So like, yay, like, you know, that was the goal. Y'all saw that I broke the leaf in the video. She is pushing out a new leaf over here, and you can't really see, but there's already, I can already see that it's gonna be a variegated leaf. I don't know if y'all can see anything. I can see stripes of variegation, which is very exciting. I put it down because I thought it was dead, but I didn't even talk about the roots. Okay, so roots, you see over there? That was the goal. I said that I needed to cover those new aerial roots that haven't like grown yet, just so they adapt to the LECA. And then I don't think, there's some branching down here, but I can't really see any more. So I mean, very exciting with this one. I feel like the pattern though with the super variegated leaf, that plant, it's gonna be super variegated and then a green leaf, super variegated and then a green leaf. Okay, moving on to the next one. Neglect the house down, boots mama. Lots of neglect. I said in a previous video, I wanted to keep a lot of them in moss because I didn't want to go through the hassle of using up my resources in the form of LECA or pon if these plants were going to be green. And I was right. The vast majority of them, they've only pushed out green leaves. It's tough because sometimes it might follow that pattern that I was telling you about. Variegated leaf, and then the next leaf is a green leaf. So I don't know. So I have to wait a little bit longer, and if it doesn't produce anything, I'm just gonna chuck them. I'm gonna throw them away. Okay, let's start with the good first. I'm so happy that I kept this one. I think this was the one where I was like, there's a stripe of variegation going through the leaf, the stem, or the node. Because you can see down here, it's like the skinniest stripe of variegation. There was a bud over here, and that's where the new growth point came out in. Not hardened off yet. I'm gonna try my best to show this. Like the light is like ruining it. Do you see how it's pretty marbled? I guess we'll continue with the ones in pon. So this one only has this growth point. And I mean, it's so hard to see if there's gonna be any variegation because sometimes you can be fooled. And the root growth. Okay, this one in pon. Visually you can see a root right there, and then completely green. Completely green. This one was the node where it was like on the edge of glory. You could see so much variegation here, but I think on the other side it was just green. There's a chance, I don't want the opposite, so I don't want it to be fully like yellow leaf. Do you see that line? Half of this stem is variegated, half of it's green. So, and it's not even like streaks, it's like block, like one side's green, one side's yellow. So kind of scared this next leaf that's coming out is gonna be fully yellow. I'm hoping it's not, but it is on that side. So we'll see. Okay. Next one in pon, so this is number 4 in pon. Kind of sad about this one because she's pushed out 2 leaves and they're both green. I was sad about this one because on one side of the stem, again, you get that beautiful striping of variegation, but the node was just on the edge, where on the flip side, and I can't show it, the flip side is just green. That's why the plant produced these green leaves over here. There's a little bit of branching, but you can't really see that much over there. Next one in pon, so number 5. There's a pattern here, y'all. Green leaf. She's working on a new one, I can feel it. Can't really see new root growth, like I think that's like a lot of older roots. And the variegation around that bud or node, it was predominantly green with like that little stripe of variegation. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the next leaf is green. 6 in pon, nothing yet. I think, was this the one that was in, I don't even know, but that's the new growth. I don't know if that was present before. Lots of roots. Again, I see this sometimes when cuttings, when they start to grow, a lot of the time when they want to favor root growth, foliage growth is slower because they're channeling all the energy into the root growth first. Because the other ones that have foliage, the root system isn't as big. And I could tell also because of squeezing this, like they're hugging this pot. And so I don't know, I think that's very interesting. I can't even believe that this leaf has like stayed like perfect for the most part. Like, wow, the growth point is there. I don't know if y'all can see that. So yay. I don't see variegation. Oh, actually, it kind of does look variegated, but who knows? I'm not gonna get my hopes up because sometimes it's not gonna be variegated, even though you see it in the cataphyll. Another one where it's rooted so much in the substrate, but minimal foliage growth. This one is actually very dry. Like, look at this. Literally nothing. Okay, so 7 of them in pawn. Let's move on to, this is the only other one in LECA. It was the top cutting. I'm actually shocked at how little growth it's pushed out. She just started, like there's gonna be a leaf here, but it like ruined, I don't know if I'm making sense. There are roots here. Right over there. And then we're left with 2 that are in sphagnum moss. So this one, green leaf. Yeah, it is fully green. Okay. Looking at the stem, doesn't look good. It looks like it's fully green. Like there's not a speck of yellow. So again, we're gonna wait for a second leaf. I can feel one developing already. We're gonna wait for a second leaf. And then if that one's green, I'm just gonna get rid of it. Then the last one with this. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to tell if it's gonna be variegated, but that's the growth. You can't really see. I mean, the roots are there when I look close, but again, it's super dry. Totally my bad. So yeah, I don't know. I consider this a fail because like I really want to bring back a lot of variegation, and I only really have 2 specimens that resulted in super variegated variegation. Does that make sense? Variegated variegation. I'll quickly go through my conditions. So this room was always kept at 60 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, the humidity between 40 to 60%. The key when it comes to propagating is always to keep the area around the aerial roots moist at all times. And I did do that, I think in the first month or 2, I'm not sure. But in the past month, I've been really bad when it comes to watering. There's been a ton of fungus gnats, mainly with these ones. And so I've been trying to dry out the substrates a bit more. And like, I know that's not proper when it comes to like wanting your plant to root and those roots staying healthy, but I just had to. So my advice, even though I didn't follow it, is to always make sure there's like this constant moistness in the substrate around the roots. So not that exciting, but I am so thrilled that the mother plant ultimately, you know, has pushed out the kind of variegation that I love. Like, that is beautiful, and I'm excited to see this one that's in pawn, the one that has the next most variegation in the leaf. So it's better than 0. It is better than 0. I am also curious now that these 2 specimens are really variegated. I'm very curious to see how the variegation behaves, how they do under highlight, how they do at lower humidity, to see the crisping and the browning and the variegation. Like, I know that's an issue. I know a lot of people recommend silica. I'm a little worried to use silica. Like, I'm hesitant just because of the pH and the change in pH that can occur when you use it. So yeah, I haven't been using silica, even though I know a lot of people are using it. So anyhow, what are y'all's experiences with the Monstera Aurea? Y'all know that I have a big one. She's against the window. Not as variegated, but she's a beast. Y'all know that I'm not really in love with her, but I'm just gonna let her grow. Okay, y'all, I will see you in the next one.